What is the true key to unlock consistency at a level that most people will never touch? Now, it's an interesting topic that I want to discuss with you guys today because over the years, the 12 or 13 years that I've been producing content online, one of the number one questions I get many, a lot, but one of those is that, bro, how are you so consistent? Whether you're at the top, at the bottom, in between, whatever it is, you're so damn consistent. Like, look now on this channel, if we're only going to talk social media, I'm cranking out 2 or 3 reels a day, 2 or 3 long form videos a day. And for any of you who have built a business or done anything where you have to show up day in and day out and do the repetitions, you know for a fact, whether you're still doing it, you stopped, you quit, you're thinking about it, that it's not easy. It's not automatic to just come out and be consistent. So there's something there. And there's more to it than meets the eye because mechanically people know what to do. Oh, I'll just, put my schedule up and this and that. And that's fine because that stuff matters. Schedule, accountability, all the external factors absolutely are significant and important. However, the key that a lot of people miss is this. What's going on between your ears? What's the mindset? And what are you doing internally at a mental, emotional, and spiritual level to create within you the ability to be consistent? That's the key here. That's mainly what I'm going to focus on. The mechanical stuff has been out forever. I've talked about it forever. And I don't want to just, repeat myself. What do we need to do up here? Now, the first thing is this. What is on the other side of my consistency? So let's say I look at my vision board, I go in my journal, and I am really looking at, as a person, what are 2 things that I want for myself in regards to character growth and development as a person, and what do I want with outside career and life aspirations? Those are the 2 main categories we're going to talk about. You could add a third one, right? If you're religious and you have specific goals around, spirituality, religion, or whatever it is that you believe in, right? We can put that as a third category because that's important too. However, let's focus on the other 2 where most people are going to reside. You have to be almost obsessively clear about those things. Like if I ask you 6 months from now, a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, how do you want to speak? How do you want to walk? How do you want to dress? What does your life look like? What are you thinking day to day? What are your actions? What do you drive? Who are your friends? What are your social circles like? What are you doing month to month, year by year? What events? Where do you live? What neighborhoods are you in? What type of house are you in? That's part of it. And the second one is like your career, work, passion, whatever you want to call that. What does that look like the next year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? In regards to numbers, production, how you're going to grow it. Are you going to build up a business with multiple people? Is it just going to be you? What does the operation look like? Are you going to build a social media brand? Like you need to be crazy clear on that. I'm talking a level of clarity that would be almost as if God himself revealed it to you. You know what I mean? And that takes a lot of work and it takes time because that is not going to happen to you overnight. Like you're not just suddenly going to watch this video and you're going to have an epiphany and everything's going to come to you and it'll all be crystal clear. Definitely not. However, it's an active process. You're going to have to engage in visualization again, fine-tuning your imagination and reigniting it like it was when you were a kid, and doing all these things where you bring more awareness on a daily basis to what you really want. You got to put pen to paper. You got to be thinking about this stuff all the time. The more your mind is focused and primed on those things, the clearer the answers are going to be. Otherwise, you're susceptible to outside influences, including me or anybody else that you listen to or watch. Now, I know for the most part, the advice that I give you is going to be conducive to your growth. However, you cannot just try to be me or whoever else you're watching. Like if you've looked at all my accomplishments over the year, nationwide real estate team, sales success, the Lamborghinis, the Porsches, the Supra, and the cars, and the lifestyle, right? And you want that, that's cool if you really want it. Or are you just following me like most people, and then you want to be the carbon copy or try to emulate me? People have done that over the years where their social media, everyone's like, man, you're trying to be like Bryan. Or, well, you said you want a Lamborghini, but do you really want it? Or do you only want it because Bryan got one? Or so-and-so got one, right? You got to be clear about what you want. Otherwise, that external influence comes in and shatters everything that you're doing. Why? This is the reason that external influence and lack of internal clarity is what causes people to burn out, be lazy, not have motivation, procrastinate, not get off their ass, not be willing to take risks. Why? Well, you don't really want it. You're not clear about what you want. You think because you have a surface level pull or emotional pull that you really want that thing or those things, but you don't. It's not truly what you want internally. That's the difference right there. That's the number one thing that I've been able to activate and focus on and really teach and ingrain in the people close to me in my coaching and in my communities that a lot of people lack. And so much time and effort is spent on that. If you can figure out that piece of the puzzle that I just described right there, that'll eliminate 80-90% of the issues that you have. Because so many people, I would write this one down or even comment it so you remember it. Most people are dealing with the symptoms of the real problem. The symptom isn't the problem. The problem is the problem. And so many people deal with on the surface. Thoughts, ideas, and actions are at the surface. What's at the bottom? Identity, values, and beliefs. That's at the core. That's underneath the soil. That's where you need to work and focus and fix. Then everything on the surface automatically gets fixed. Why? Identity, values, and beliefs create permanent and lasting change. Only working with thoughts, ideas, and actions creates temporary, not long-lasting change, where somebody will do the right habits for a week or 2 weeks or a month, and then they fall off. Then you know exactly what I'm talking about because we've all been there. That's something you'll learn a lot in neuro-linguistic programming, and one of the main reasons that I really studied that stuff and became like a master practitioner, and I teach it to everybody too, because all this stuff in NLP and hypnosis first works on your mind and teaches you a lot about yourself and how the human mind and communication work. Therefore, when you understand yourself better and you can fine-tune these things for yourself, it's then easier for you to help other people with it, influence, persuade, or whatever it is. And that's another thing that I teach really, really in depth in my communities. So if that's of interest to you, then I'd recommend you join Distinguished Agent and some of the stuff that I'm doing, right? All this stuff is in the description. But get that first point, right? Number 2 is your environment has to inspire you. Well, Bryan, I don't have any money. I live in a shitty apartment. I live with my parents, blah, blah, blah. Then create a corner in your room or a little section in your home or where you stay that's a sanctuary, where ritualistically you go there and you're inspired and there's symbols there or something that moves that needle for you. It could be pasting stuff on the wall, putting stuff in your bathroom mirror, your vanity mirror here in the car, pasting something, keeping pictures and visual aids with you, like I would carry in my suit pocket. I'd carry pictures of the cars that I wanted to remind me when I was feeling bad or down or defeated. This is one of the main reasons that I'm doing this shit. The background on my phone, because you look at that so much. The ringtone that when people called me, right? All that stuff. Symbolism and your environment. So key. Your car being clean. Look at my car. It's spotless. I have some stuff here in the front because I'm on my way to the gym right now. I'm going to go box for a little bit and run some sprints. Your environment and the symbolism is key. Control that, right? Because by doing that, not only am I inspiring myself and moving that needle to keep my mind primed and focused on what I want, because remember, what you focus on expands. We all know this. So visually, right, I'm being activated all the time, and my, senses are being activated around the goals and things that I want and that move me forward and that make me feel good. I'm by virtue of that going to be more productive and get more stuff done and be working and consistently thinking about and working towards, again, what I want. Minimizing distraction. I'll be on my phone less. I'll scroll less. I'll, go through mindless entertainment stuff a lot less. That's the key here, right? Be very purposeful with that. I went to, Staples and Office Depot back in the day, and I would print those pictures because I didn't have a printer, or I would print it from my office. Color, visual aids. You guys remember those old videos? It's sad that my old YouTube channel is gone, the big one, but you could see it in the background of my videos, the basketball pictures, the Range Rover, right? The Escalade, and written down some of the goals, how much money I wanted to make, how many appointments I wanted to set, how many sales I wanted to make. All that stuff was there, so I obsessed about it and looked about it all the time. Same thing with my environment. My environment was clean, decluttered, and it was inspirational, and it was just conducive to work and growth. I covered myself up, wrapped myself in my own little personal cocoon of improvement and betterment and inspiration. That's what you got to do. Why? No one else is going to do it for you. I don't care how lame that sounds. I don't care how weird that sounds. That's what you got to do. You got to obsess specifically about what you want and where you want to go. Because when you're clear and then you create the environment and conditions to bring that to fruition and create it, now you're activating something deep, deep, deep inside of the human being that our ancestors had literally no choice but to have activated all the time, because they had to be on their P's and Q's, be inventive. You know, you don't have to go back that far, maybe 500 or 1,000 years, where you had to figure stuff out. The environment and the world was a lot harsher. And if you weren't on your P's and Q's and consistently innovating and growing and pushing for more and creation and how to make life better, we probably wouldn't be here, and they would have been weeded out of existence. Now we live a cushy lifestyle. We can go to the market and buy meat and food. We're way more docile now as human beings, so you're going to have to work a little bit more to activate this stuff. Otherwise, modern day life and conveniences will just neuter you, literally. You're going to have to dig within you and find that inspiration. The cool thing about social media and this kind of stuff is you can find people like me that'll guide you in the right way, but a lot of people are going to bullshit you and, you know, sell you a bunch of crap or teach you stuff that's not really conducive to your growth. You want to become an independent machine where you don't have to rely on anything or anyone else to produce and do what it is that you want to do. That way, everywhere you go, you improve the environment, you improve the group, and you're a beacon of power, inspiration, success, discipline, honor, righteousness, all the things that are really important. And doing some of these things will really get you on that right track. But consistency, man, is the name of the game. If you do these things, consistency becomes just automatic, because you don't have to think about it anymore, and it's not forced. It becomes just your normal movement. That's what you want. You don't want these things to be an act. You want it to be a trait. You want it to be a beingness, BEINGNESS, a beingness. That's why my podcast, and subscribe if you haven't to the audio, Supreme Being, BEING, is all about that. It's the beingness. I want these things to be me and a part of me, not some act that I'm playing or thing that I need to force. This is just how I am. Discipline, doing the right thing, being honest, authentic, genuine. That's just who I am. It's not an act. It's not something I need to try. No, it's just what I do. Same thing. Right now, you may not be a top-notch communicator. You may admire the way that I communicate and how I just do these videos raw. That's fine. You can get there, though, because I once was the individual who could not communicate, and now I can. And I know because of that and my ability to sell, I'm always going to make money. At the worst of my worst, I was still making $200,000 or $300,000 a year. And that's at the very bottom with everything taken away from me. Now, I know a lot of people who lost everything and they're down to zero. So it's pretty incredible that at the worst of my worst in the last 13 years, I was still able to make $20,000, $25,000 a month. At the worst, like the worst. That's pretty crazy. But that's because I built myself up, and I know I'm always going to be valuable in the marketplace, attracting people to my real estate team, attracting people to my real estate company, which, by the way, this last year, I personally have added about 100 people to my network at my company. Restarting the team, we're already at about 15 people with Team BC, and we're rapidly growing. Still getting people on my coaching and growing that community. I have 2 levels of it, well, 3 now, and a bunch of other stuff. People are still buying my courses online and from my website and all that stuff, right? People are still scheduling strategy calls, all that. Because I, in their eyes, am valuable. They want to come to me, learn, join my team, whatever it is. But you need to create that for yourself. Consistency is one of the reasons that they come. That's one of the top things I hear. Dude, you're so consistent. Not only is that admirable, people recognize that it's difficult in today's world to be that consistent. So that becomes an asset for you. Okay? Now, I don't want to ramble on forever. Anything I can do to help, let me know. I have a ton of stuff in the description. Same thing with the sales quiz, get on my email list. At the very least, just at least get connected into my community and into my ecosystem. That way you guys can start doing the right things, because now I'm on the kick of really getting back to the basics, and all my content is going to be around that, because I think people now more than ever need it, because they're either restarting, just finding me, newer people in entrepreneurship or real estate or sales, and it'll be very, very helpful for them. All right. Drop a like for the algorithm. Same thing with the comment, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.